Hey everybody, it's Amy at Hoppachick Creative, and I was inspired by watching a Hero Arts tutorial this morning, and I want to create a background that looks sort of dreamy. This is just a piece of watercolor paper that I had glimmer misted with several different colors, and I used this deep red stamp. That's the company name, and this is the Cathedral arches, and I've been wanting to use this stamp more. I've used it in a couple of projects so far, and as you can see, it's a nice detailed stamp, and I think it would go really well with a dreamy background. So what I'm going to be using is some of Tim Holtz's Distress ink. So I have Worn Lipstick, Dusty Concord, Watermark Resist Broken Pad, and then I have a couple of Pearlex colors by Jacquard, and this one is Brilliant Gold, and the other one is Super Bronze. Okay, so I'm just using Tim Holtz's little, I don't know what he calls this, the felt applicator, and I'm gonna dab on some Worn lipstick. And bear with me because I've never used the felt applicator with the Distress inks. I've only used it with the alcohol ink, but I have seen it done. Purple color. And I'm going to link to the Dreamy Constellations video that Hero Arts had posted on YouTube. And now the last color is blue, and it's Broken China. I'm just going to do some blue down here, and then some more over here. Okay. And I don't have one of those little handy-dandy powder trays. I just use a card. This is very easy to do. You can just tap off the excess into the crease of the card. Okay, and now we have the embossed image. The detail came out pretty well, and I'm just going to heat that up. Doesn't take long for the embossing powder to change, and as you can see, it's just popping. Now what I have is this little cloud that I cut out of foam. This is just the foam packs that you can get at Michael's. I see them at Dollar Tree too. This deep purple shade, and I just made this with food coloring and what do you call it? Filtered water. They recommend using either distilled water or purple, or I mean filtered. Sorry, I can't talk today. Okay, and I'm just going to hold down the cloud mask, and I don't want any of the ink to get underneath that mask, and I'm just going to go ahead. So I cleaned the craft sheet, and now I'm just going to go in with a baby wipe, and I'm going to wipe away some of this excess color. Not all of it, but I just don't want it to look quite so speckled. And I still want some of that detail to show through. I do have a white chalk stamp pad, and I wonder if that would help bring out some of the definition of baby wipe, and just dab away. And since the embossing powder is heat set, it's not going to move. I mean, unless you really scraped away at it, it's not going to flake off or anything, which is nice because you can color over it and then you can subtract color if you want to. And just going to get some yellow on there for a little lighter effect. And then once I've dried that, I can go back over it with some of my other lighter colors. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with some of the Distress inks. This time I'm just going to use Worn Lipstick and Dusty Concord. And I'm going to re-ink. And since Distress ink is reactive with water, the baby wipes moisture will activate it even better, and I should be able to get a nice clear image this time over the embossed image. Okay, so I'm going to line that up as carefully as I can to where it was. A white effect, like a shadow effect, which would be fine if the two stamps don't completely align, because you'll get like a nice dimensional look. Just want to make sure and get all that pattern down. Okay, so that's where we're at so far. And the cloud has basically retained its shape. It does look a little bit misshapen at this point. I'm going to use my Wow embossing pen. This just has embossing ink right in it that you can draw on. And I'm going to do some of the rays that are going to be coming out of the Cathedral. And then I'm going to go over with some of the Pearlax. And like I said, I'm using Brilliant Gold, and Super Bronze. And just going to use my finger to make those rays come out. Make them a little bit more obvious. Now I'm going to heat set those. I'm using just plain water in a spray bottle to get the cloud to pop out again and to get some of the excess ink off the embossed image. Okay, and now for the final bit on the card, I'm going to use the Memento Fade Resistant Dye Ink in Tuxedo Black that I mentioned before. And I'm going to stamp in. These are by Hampton Art. They're just little alpha stamps, little wooden stamps, very easy. Okay, and I'm going to do the wonky effect, as Jenny Belly would say, where the letters look a little off, a little wonky. And I'll come back when that is finished.